Ad Gure Name, Jugad Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Sri Guru Dev Name. मेरे प्यारे सत्संग जी, वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Well, Satsang Ji, it's always a great honor, great privilege in the presence of our Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj to be able to spend this time together to understand the depth of Guru's teachings. And we have to understand that Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj is a way of life, is a way of living. We say in English is a technology and a science of life. So it's not just scriptures or holy scriptures, they say sometimes, but Sri Guru Granth Sahib is the living word of God, the living vibration of God. And what is that God? We say that God is that which creates everything, creates the rotation of the planets, the rotation of this earth, creates all the cosmos, everything that exists, the stars, the sun, the moon, everything. And that contains everything, as Guru Nanak Dev Ji Satyapada taught, was that God, that one, that essence, that commands and controls everything in the existence of the universe, that can bring those planets into those alignments, the stars into those alignments, all those things, the moons. He said that God is the same God that can help us. So he said the greatness of that God is that God can command the entire cosmos, the entire universe and universes. But that same God can help us in our day-to-day life. One day someone asked me, explain what is the power of Sikh Dharma? What is that power that we walk on? What is that guides us? What is the value of that? Everybody today wants value. What is my value? What do I get from that? And I said it's a very simple understanding that whatever you view, whatever you look outside of yourself, whatever you view and whatever you look outside of yourself is governed by what is happening inside of yourself. So however you look through these eyes into the world that you live in and what you do is all dependent on how you feel inside of yourself. How do you view yourself inside? What does that mean? That means that if we walk the path of the Guru and we bring ourselves to the feet of the Guru, and today we listen to such beautiful kirtan, so harmonious, such beautiful shabads that we were listening to let it go deep into us, to create a calmness, a sahaj, and ananda bliss within us by listening to the kirtan. That if that becomes the way of life, if we begin our day Amrit Vele, and we begin doing Path, we begin with Simran, then that carries us through the day. So I'm saying whatever we do inside that nurtures inside of ourselves is how we look at what is happening outside. So if we just take that little piece of information, little piece of understanding, and we think about that, and we think about our day, did you begin your day today to set yourself, we call that? Did you start to set yourself today so that you can face this day? And face it in harmony of the self. Face it with strength of the self. Face it with the courage of the self. Why? Because you had Bani vibrating within you. We came to Gurdwara, we Mattatek, we brought our ego, we gave it at the feet of the Guru, and we said, I'm here in front of you, Guru Sahib, just to feel you. And if that becomes the state of the awareness within us, then everything outside of us becomes that. Everything outside of us becomes that which is the exist of what's inside of us. Because Guru Sahib wants us to be happy, not to be unhappy. We read Gurbani. There's no place in Gurbani that Guru Sahib says you should be unhappy, that you shouldn't enjoy life, that you shouldn't be successful and prosperous in life. It doesn't exist. Those words don't exist in Gurbani. Because Guru Sahib is always lifting us and raising us and letting us know, okay, that mistake you made, this happened, that happened for you, but listen now. That can change. Because our Guru is very forgiving, and says, forgive yourself. That's the power and the strength of our devotion. Guru Nanak said we are Sikh. We are seekers, and we're seekers of the Nam, of the truth, of the vibration. And we hear so much vibrate the Nam. This morning, Sukham from Darbar Sahib, Guru Ramdas Ji talks so much about the Nam. Meditate on the Nam. But what is that Nam that we're meditating on? Guru Nanak Dev Ji said this whole creation of this whole entire system of universe came from this Nam, from that vibration. So what is that Nam that Guru says, meditate on the Nam, Nam Simran, Nam Japo. Japanan, Satanam, Japnam. He says, what is that? To meditate on that sound. Nam is that which is existent in you. Nam is the personality of you within yourself, is the Nam. Nam is the essence of every creation. The creation of the entire universe, as I said at the beginning, and the you. The you inside of you is the vibration of the Nam. So Guru Sahib is saying, why is Guru Sahib saying, do Nam Sim and do Nam Japo? Because it awakens the Nam within inside of you. It awakens the universality inside of you. As we sit in the stillness, Vaheguru, 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 and we chant Vaheguru on our navel point and moves in our breath, and everything is engaged in that, that opens the door of the self. It opens that door. We come to Gurdwara, means the door of our Guru. We come to that opening, that portal. And as we chant the Nam, as we sit in the presence of Sri Guru Granth Sahib, that door opens up within inside of us. It opens up inside of us for what? To experience the light, to experience the Jyot, to feel Jyot, to feel light, to feel you. There's a very clear system I'm explaining to you today. This is how I had to understand it. In English, I couldn't understand it in Punjabi, but I had to understand, look into it, study it, realize it, translate it, learn the Gurbani to understand that it's a system and a science of the exact, you can say beyond exact, reference of a human being. To become human. To become truly human and to live in this reality. To live in this reality. Not to live in the Maya. Why in Guru Granth Sahib Ji so much Maya? Don't be in Maya, caught in Maya. Hanji, we read that. Maya, don't get caught to that Maya, into Duja, into that duality. Why is Guru so much talking about that Maya? Duja, the duality. And saying, be careful, don't fall into the trap. Panchjor, don't fall into the trap of that. Guru says, live in the reality of yourself. But sometimes we're not clear what is Maya, what is truth. What is reality, what is illusion? Maya means illusion. It means illusion. Do you understand? Illusion means something that's not real. An illusion in English means something that's not real. That's Maya, something that is not real. So Guru is saying, live in the reality of yourself. And the reality of yourself is the consciousness that you live, is the awareness that you hold inside that comes through Gurbani. To face that reality. Not to chase after the Maya. We chase after the Maya. If I only had this much money, if I only won the lottery, if I only found that person, if I only got this, we chase after that Maya, thinking that's real. And not that we shouldn't enjoy what the luxuries of life are. Guru Sahib says enjoy every luxury of life. We shouldn't be poor people, we should be very prosperous. But he says, remember when you go, nothing comes with. That when you leave this planet, can I take my clothes? Can I take my house? Can I take my car with me? We'll have it delivered somewhere. I can't. But Guru says, if you devote yourself at the feet of the Guru, that becomes the life, that becomes your reality, then everything you need is given. Doesn't matter what you need. You want to have a car to drive, we need a house to live, we have to have some work, some job, some income, something coming. That's normal life, that's living this life, this worldly life. But we get so attached into it that we forget. We forget that that who made us, created us, is there to give us everything we need. I found very early in when I came to the feet of the Guru, I understood very early, I said, Guru Sahib is asking me for nothing. I said, I knew that, right? That became right at the beginning. I said, Guru Sahib is asking me for nothing and is giving me everything. Is asking nothing from me. You come to the feet of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Maharaj, is Guru asking you should give something? Nay. But Guru gives you everything. Doesn't ask for anything, but gives everything. You know, if you just sit with that for one moment to understand it, that in English we call attitude of gratitude, being grateful for everything. And with that attitude of gratitude, of being grateful for everything, everything flows. That was my experience. It took me a long time. I've been with you almost 50 years, and I didn't like it right from the beginning. I didn't trust that to be true because nothing ever taught me that that was true. I never heard these words before. So I didn't know, is Guru telling me truth or not truth? I had to learn and understand and make those mistakes until one day my mind said, stop. Stop. And allow Guru to take care of everything for you. Guru promises that. So as soon as we surrender to that, give up to that, and then gives us the practice of how to achieve it. That's the beauty of it. One day one asked me, he said, when you recite Japji Sahib every day, how do you feel? I said, I feel that I love Guru Nanak. That's how I feel when I recite Japji Sahib. That I'm reciting, I'm doing my Japji Sahib because I love Guru Nanak. I said, that changed me when I understood that. Sometimes we read our Bani, we just sit, what time is it? I only have so much time, I'm going to have to read. And then sometimes I get that way too, we're very busy people. But then my mind switches and said, I'm doing this, my part today because I love my Guru. So as I do part and I remind myself that I love my Guru, that part, that vibration of that Gurbani goes so deep into my heart and brings that grateful to me, that I'm grateful that for some reason in this lifetime that this English kid, right, this Gora kid from downtown Toronto somehow came to the feet of the Guru. Somehow Guru brought me. And if Guru can bring this kid who knows nothing about anything, and Punjabi speaking is so bad, not so bad, but then why would one of any of us doubt the truth of that? You who were born to it. You who were born to it. And that's the great blessing that I always remember of the attitude of gratitude. And I remember those lines in Japji Sahib reminding me of that gratitude. A days to say a days, Adanil, Anadanahat, Jugujugekovesa. That who created, who's loving and giving, I bow to that who is here without beginning and without end and shall always be forever and ever through every age, all the ages, that shall be. And I remembered that simple sound from Japji Sahib. A days to say a days. Adanil anadanahat jugujugekoves. Anahat, it vibrates to the heart. He's saying that one who created everything is the light, is the love of the givingness from all the ages beyond to all the ages that will come, to every age without beginning, without end, and it's endless, and because that is endless, I said, then I can become endless. Then I can achieve that endlessness. Why should I be limited with myself? Guru Nanak taught that we're unlimited people, unlimited in what we can experience. And Gurbani awakes that. That's the power of Shabad Guru. Shabad Guru is the quantum technology and science which exist in the Bani of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj through the vibration of Gurumukhi, of the exact sound current that exactly permeates within this brain of ours, conscious mind, and subconscious, conscious, and unconscious mind, to bring to the forefront of that conscious mind the beauty of life. That's the power of Gurbani. And the beauty of that power of Gurbani is it does it within 180 seconds. Within 180 seconds, that's 3 minutes. Gurbani works that in 180 seconds, it turns this mind of ours 180 degrees. 180 degrees in 180 seconds. You know how powerful that. And I came to understand, and I'm just sharing Satsangati today a little bit about my own experience personal, of why I've stayed rooted at the feet of my Guru through so many years, through up and down, this way, that way, plus, minuses, in spite of myself. For what reason? Because I learned, and it took me some time, but I learned that Guru shall never let me fall. Even if I fall myself, even though I get caught into that Maya, that Guru Sahib will not let me fall, will not let me down. And I knew then that I had that mission in life, in whatever language I could speak best, that I would share Guru Nanak Dev Ji's message and the message of our Gurus to the world. And we've done it. We're still doing it. Because I said, this message has to be heard. But I also understood that being with you for so many years of my life, because I was raised in the Punjabi community, not the English community. I've been with you for these 50, close to 50 years now. I've been with you. Still in my speaking of my English language. Because there was some kind of connection, you can say, some kind of merge with you that I felt, still feel to this day, being in our Sangat, that I've never felt before. And I knew right from the beginning that that was drawing me in, that I should be with Sangat and be with you. And to help spread this message, especially to our children, our younger generations, so that we don't lose these teachings, get lost in this world. Because Guru's teachings are rising, not falling down. Even though the world is shrinking down, even though the world is going through, in this Kali Yuga, is going through this very testing time of what's the reality of this living and what's going to happen in this life. We know all this, what's going on in the world today. But in the midst of that, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj said, the Khalsa shall rise. That's the Raj of the Khalsa. That through this Kali Yuga, through this dark period of time, through where these changes that are going on, where we're uncertain, and our young people don't know what their future is even going to become, still through that Khalsa shall rise. Because this message has to be spread to the world and be given to the world to help save this world, to bring in this consciousness, to bring in this awareness. But where does it start? We talked earlier as I began today. Where does that start? It starts with you. It starts with our young people over there. It starts with you individually to understand, to live it within your heart and to trust it. That was my shift when I said, when I do Pad, I said, love Guru Nanak so much when you do Pad, and you'll feel that love. That's the PR that Guru Sahib is giving to us, sharing with us. That love of the heart, that PR, that Shanti, that peace that we can feel within ourselves. And today Guru Ram Das Ji in this morning Hukamnama from Darbar Sahib, he shared with us that message. He said, that God that created everything, that was the earth, the everything, the entire cosmos, you name it, is there for you, to help you by your grace, by your dignity, to be there for you, to help you in every aspect, in every part of your life. So why deny it? Live it and trust it. So Satsangji, let us understand that truth within ourselves and help us to grow with that. Because this is the highest way of life that you can live. The highest way of life that you can live. I was in the Langar Hall earlier and a gentleman came up to me and he asked me about Guru Nanak Dev Ji. He said, why did Guru Nanak Dev Ji go into the Bain, go into the water? at Sultanpur Lodi and go for 3 days. What was that? Why did he say? Ask me that question this morning. Said, why did Guru Nanak Dev Ji do that? And I said, because that changed the entire frequency of Guru Nanak Dev Ji from Nanak to Guru Nanak, to bring to us a teaching, a universal teaching and a universal truth, who merged so deeply with God and for 3 days left and merged with the God, merged with that infinity, merged with all that was, and then came back and said, this is the truth of life, and gave us Mumantar. And he said at that time that Hindu doesn't exist, Muslim doesn't exist. Maybe today he would say Sikh doesn't exist. Because he brought to the world at that point, that shift of Guru Nanak Dev Ji came at that point when he came out and said, this is a different world that we live in. And he shared Mumantar and said, this is the base of life for all of us to live. And that changed the course of the history of humanity. Changed the course of the history of humanity. In a short period of time, just over 500 years ago, a very short period of time in the history of world faith. Because in the history of world faith, there was never, no one had ever come out of this time frame, this centuries, so young, who would have such a great impact in the entire world. Hinduism, how many? 5, 10, 15,000 years? We don't know. Muslimism, 2,000, 1,500 years something. Judaism, 5, 10,000 years. Christianity, 2,000 years. But Sikhism became a major world faith in only just over 500 years. Nothing had ever come close to matching that. And revolutionized, Guru Nanak Dev Ji changed everything, revolutionized the entire way that we pray, the entire way that we see God, the entire understanding of Ek Onkar, that there's one creator, and to see one creator and to see everyone as equal. This had never been taught, never been given to the world, never been shared with the world. And he said, everyone is created equal. Doesn't matter. What is your faith? What is your gender? What is your religion? What is your color? What is your belief? What is your preference? He said, don't judge anybody. And he said, don't judge into yourself. That teaching had never been brought to this world in that clarity, in that form. Never. Guru Nanak Dev Ji came, we don't even know how he came. We don't know how it was created, through the stars, through the cosmos, we don't know, and we'll never know what brought Guru Nanak Dev Ji back to this planet, to share this message with the world, and to have the courage to take that message throughout the world. How many yatras, how far did he go? 30,000, 40,000 miles? We don't know how he got there. Went to Mecca, some say he went to Italy, some to China, we don't even know. How he traveled, how he got to where he got, what languages that he spoke when he got there, who understood him, we don't know. But it's recorded history. It's recorded in history. It's not story. It's recorded history. We don't know how he went to China. We don't know how he went to Mecca. We don't know how he went to all these places. We don't know. There's lots of stories we hear. Maybe he came to North America. We don't know. Because what Guru Nanak Dev Ji brought to this world was that purity and the light, and said we are beyond just the limitation of the physical self. And he came to spread that message at that time of the world. And we know what was happening. We know the stories of our gurus and what was happening in India at that time with the Mughals and the corruption that was going on, and the violence that was going on, and the tragedies and the torturing. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji still cut through that and gave that strength to every Nanak after. To Guru Gobind Singh Ji, who then gave us Gadi of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And he said, a Sikh has to cut through the negativity, not run away from it. That a Sikh has to be strong and courageous and fearless to go through every aspect in life, every facet of life, and in that bring others with us. and not be afraid to confront it direct. He said, that's the courage of a Sikh. A Sikh runs into negativity to heal and to help others. We don't back away from that. We help others. Isn't that very true? That's the seva. One day I went shopping in a store, and I was at that store, and I came out from that store, and I was carrying my bag, some groceries, and a Canadian woman, English woman, came up to me, and she said, are you one of those Khalsas? And I looked, I was wearing my bon, I said, I think I'm one of those Khalsas. She said to me, I heard that Khalsa helps everyone. And she said to me, she said, I heard that Khalsa helps everyone. I said, yes, that's very true. And she said, I need some help, can you help me? So I reached in my pocket, I had a business card, I said, call my office, you can make an appointment. And she looked at me, said, what? She said, I heard that Khalsa helps anybody, anywhere, you have to help me right this minute. And she was right. I did. So I put down my bags, and she said, I have this problem, that problem. I said, don't worry, God will take care of you. Well, I could do Satnam, everything, and she felt good, and she left. But it reminded me that day. It reminded me that day that I have that responsibility. And I don't know how she knew a Khalsa. She didn't know me personally, but she knew I had a dastar. I was looking this way. She had heard somewhere that a Sikh will help anybody. And she needed help, and she came. And she wanted it right away. She was right. She wanted it right away. But that reminded me, and I've had many experiences like that throughout the world when we travel. Many experiences that reminds me, what is my responsibility? And then I realized I have those two responsibilities. I have that responsibility for what I do outside to help others, to do seva, to help others, to carry this message, to share our message, to spread our Guru's message to the world. But I said, I have another responsibility. I said, that responsibility is the responsibility that's inside of me. That's the responsibility that's inside. What is that responsibility? To rise every day, Amadveda. To do my Simran, to exercise my body, to do Pat, to vibrate the sound current, to set myself and prepare myself so that I can serve even that much better and have that much more strength to serve. So I understood I had those two responsibilities. Remember, as I started today speaking, what would I say? I said that how you view what's outside of you is how you view what is from inside of you. So what is happening inside of me is how I view what happens outside of me. Hanji? So if I'm set in myself and I begin my day and I do my Simran and I do Pat, that's internal, that's inside of me, then how do I see that day? I see that day where I can serve, not get tired by it, and continue to serve whoever needs that seva. And this is what we're talking about today, how Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj gives us that strength and courage to face negativity, face our own inner negativity, and to face that negativity in life. But it's all about how we see ourselves. One day I was speaking at a conference. They invited me to speak. It was multi-faith. There was many different faiths there speaking. They asked me, would I come and speak? I said yes. So I came and I spoke. I talked about Guru Nanak Dev Ji. I talked about Sikhi. I talked about our faith. And I talked about the love, the PR that Guru teaches us, and how Guru Nanak came with such love in his heart. And a very young girl, she was maybe, 5 years old, 6 years old, young girl came up to me. I was standing, and she was maybe 4, 5, 6 something years old, and she tugged on my kurta. She looked up to me, and she said, Babaji. I said, what? She said, can I see God? She was very innocent. Our young people are so innocent. And she looked at me and said, Babaji, can I see God? I said, yes, you can see God. She said, how? I said, did you look in the mirror today? She said, yeah, I looked in that mirror today. I said, then you saw God. And she looked at me and said, Babaji, God is very beautiful. She got it. This young girl, she got it. She understood. She looked in the mirrors. I said, there's God. You are that God. And she looked back. She said, but God is very beautiful. And she got it. We don't get it, but she got it. And that again reminded me to never forget the beauty that God created in each of us. And then I started to tell that story to others. I said, look in the mirror. I said, what do you do when you look in that mirror? I know what you do. You look at this. Is this straight? Is that up? Is this way? Am I combed? But do you stop for a moment as when you look in that mirror and say, Guru Sahib, thank you so much for the blessing of bringing me to this world and to bring me to your feet. That's the gratefulness. And that little girl got it. She taught me something that day. She got it that day. And these are the experiences that help us to understand what we represent, and that helped me understand that I represent something that's greater than myself. That being a Sikh, being Khalsa, is greater than myself. And that day, I understood that I was giving my head at the feet of the Guru. I said, Guruji, my head is now yours. I will give my life for you without fear. That was the depth of my commitment to never leave the feet of my Guru. That's the inspiration that has inspired me, and I hope inspires many others, because through whatever is happening in life, through plus, through minus, through thick, through thin, through sukh, through dukh, doesn't matter. I said, Guru Sahib, I shall never leave you and never leave your feet. And I never have in these years. God willing, I have a few more years with you. Because I understood when Guru says, Bohita, says the boat, that Guru is the boat. Bohita, that boat that carries us across this ocean of life. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, come into the boat. Come into this boat and let it carry you. There's no other teaching that I've studied in my years of study and comparative religion and looking at different religions and looking at different faiths. There's nothing that I've experienced in my life that even comes close to what the beautiful teachings of our Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj has inside, that guides us into our day through our Hukamnama, that gives us that understanding of that devotion. And nor did I see the strength of Guru Nanak in any other faith come even close to that faith of that beautiful example of purity, that beautiful example of equality, that beautiful example of universality. It did not exist before. And before Guru Nanak Dev Ji, everyone said that God was outside of you, that God lives outside. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, no, he said, that's not true. He said, God lives inside of us. And every person can experience it. Every person can experience it. And remember at that time, Guru Nanak Dev Ji took those who were criminals, he took those who were the worst of the worst, and they became saints. Because he saw the goodness that lived in their heart. And he encouraged them to change their lives. And there's no difference today that our Gurus see the goodness that lives in our hearts, and Gurus changing our lives. So there's a lot of teachings that we're not yet embraced fully within our own lives. Because as a human being, we're always changing. We're always changing, but we resist that change. We get stuck into a way, we will go to that way, we resist that changing. But changing is always happening. This world is changing. And Guru has given us a way that we can change as the world changes. That we can be alert and understanding and aware and change as the world changes. And not get caught by that time and space, not get caught in the changes, but change as the world changes. How do we do that? That we do by our practice. That's why I say that Sikh Dharma is a practical way of living the reality of life. We talked about that today. That Sikh Dharma is the practical, living way to live our reality and our truth. And when we come to Gurdwara and we're in the presence of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, in the Gurdwara with us today is the transparency of God. God is existing at the feet of the Guru with us. We are together. We are in the home of that. That's the experience to feel it. That's why I say when you read Japji Sahib, feel the love of Guru Nanak. Try that if you're not already doing. Feel the love of Guru Nanak and see how that changes you. Because the ultimate goal of life of a living human being, we call it, is to live in peace. To live peacefully, to live relaxed, to be calm, sehaj, to be in bliss, anand, to be in peace, shanti, to be in love, pyar, is the nature, the natural nature of a human being. And that's the qualities of the guns, that's the qualities that Guru reflects back to us. But somehow I don't think we all get it. I don't think we realize that, maybe because it's never been taught in the way that I'm expressing it today. Because I want to express it to you in a very simple English, in a very simple way to understand it, in a very simple way to live it. And it's so important that especially our children, our young adults hear that, and understand it to be that way. Because Sikh Dharma isn't like just that religion, and I have to be this religion, and I was born to this religion, and it's just a religion. Is not. Nanak said, Navji said, there's no religion. He said, there's no rituals. He broke it all down. He said, there's equality of gender. He said, everyone is created equal. We're not a religion that says this, and that way, like in some other faiths. Because Guru expands us to go beyond the limitation of ourself. And that's why Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, there's nothing that is above you that you can't experience God. That it doesn't have to be someone now has to take you to that God. You have to bow to the feet of this one to find that God. That's why when Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj gave us Guru Gadi of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, said we shall never bow at the feet of a human. Because a human, we're human, I'm human, don't we have emotions? We have commotions, we have up days, we have down days, we have strong days, we have a weaker day. Does Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji have that emotion? Does it have the commotion? Does it have bad day, good day? Nay, it's always there. No human can match it. And it contains the living teachings that we can apply into our day-to-day life to bring us peace and joy and happiness. So Satsangaji, today I'm just sharing a little bit about that understanding of how to bring that happiness and the love that can be into our hearts, and how we have a mission to help save and help do that seva to as many people, to help always as best we can, and to give our children, our young people, our young adults an opportunity to live and practice Sikhi in a very beautiful way and understand the essence of the teachings. Because there is no teaching that exists on this planet called Earth that I've found in my years of study that can even come close to matching what Guru Sahib has brought to us. And I'm not saying we are the only faith and we are the best, and I'm not saying that to you. I'm just saying that that the teachings that are contained in our Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji can help to bring this world to peace. They're beautiful, pure teaching. We're not claiming we have the only answer. We're not claiming this and that. We're only saying that what we have is a very beautiful, beautiful knowledge to give to the world. So Satsangaji, let us spread this knowledge to this world. Let us let Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru vibrate so deeply within us. And let our love for Guru Nanak guide us. And let our love at the feet of the Guru give us the foundation of life. That's all Guru Sahib is asking. Everything else Guru Sahib is giving. And that we call devotion. And in my years of working, I know that, and being with you, you are so devoted at the feet of the Guru like I've never experienced. So Satsangji, let us grow. Let us be able to honor ourselves. Let us see the beauty that exists within us and share your love to this world. What is Sangat? Sangat is just not that we should understand each other, but Sangat is that we should stand under each other and support. It is through Sangat that we realize God. It goes from the individual to the Sangat to God. And that is the power of Sangat. That is the power of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And that's the power of the reality to live this life in the purity of our consciousness. Let us share that consciousness to everyone we meet. I told you a couple simple stories, but I have many, many stories of times, and so many have come to me to just ask me simple questions about who I am, what I believe, what I represent. And they want to learn, because this world is searching for truth. And we know that that truth can be found at the feet of our Guru. Only we have to give it a chance, and give it that chance in our life so that we can make it a reality. So Satsangaji, it's always a great privilege and an honor that we have to be together. Again, remember that you can listen every Sunday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Sherry Punjab Radio AM 600 for my Gurbani Vichar program in English. And Monday to Friday, I translate the morning Hukamnama also into English with a discourse of the meaning. That's every day, also between around 6:15, 6:20 a.m. on Sherry Punjab Radio AM 600. Satsangaji, you can reach me through my Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube channel, or visit my website in thelotus.com, where you can subscribe to my membership program. And as always, your donations are very appreciated so we can continue this mission to share these teachings. May Guruji bless you always and forever. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Please subscribe to our Library of Teachings Legacy Project. Our Legacy Project and your subscriptions help to give us that opportunity to compile the many, many years of teachings of videos, lectures, and classes of Harinam Singh Khalsa. Please visit our website, anandlotus.com, to subscribe. Satnam.